Welcome back to howtoav.tv. Here we are back at ISE in Barcelona for 2024. There are some people at this show who are so busy you just cannot catch them. One of them is Dan Drogman from Smartspaces. Welcome, Dan. Everybody's talking smart spaces. If they're not talking smart spaces, they're talking about AI. It's been your big conversation. You've just done a seminar on it as well. Let's talk about your business, Smart Spaces, first of all, and what your area of expertise is.
Brilliant. Yeah, so Smart Spaces is a smart building operating system. And our purpose of Smart Spaces is optimizing environments for people on the planet. And what that translates to in day-to-day is that it's desk booking, meeting room booking, with mobile access tied into it, occupancy sensors, and we're constantly optimizing the space. And that means that we are providing additional spaces for people that need it, less space for those that don't, but then switching spaces on and off to save energy. And so those things combined together in one workplace app, plus a whole host of other facilities that landlords like to offer, is a really powerful way to optimize your business.
And it's interesting that you have such a focused area of smart buildings. So many people that we talk to during the show, we might have smart home automation, smart building, and then of course we're seeing more and more smart cities being talked about. Is it the same theory? Is it the same technologies?
Same theory, but it's all around optimizing things and efficiency, but very different technologies, especially in the home where there's a lot of DIY, so people with self-install thermostats and so on, whereas in offices it's much more planned, and there's a structure and an infrastructure that we can tap into to take control of the building.
And a lot of the conversations about smart buildings have been about user experience in the building, whereas a lot of yours is about efficiency of that building. And of course they go hand in hand, but I guess what you're doing is really focused on the property owner and whoever is working in that building.
Well, it's focused on giving a return on investment for the property owner. And that's our main goal when we're working with landlords. But at the end of the day, we are serving the employee, and that's the user, and the user experience is paramount. Like, everything we do is to improve the user experience of people using buildings, and we leverage technology to do that.
With people just not returning to the office and wanting to work from home, how has that affected both the business for you and how that's changing how people are changing their buildings?
Yeah, certainly. I think there's a mindset there, and the landlords that are really succeeding in this market are creating the best-in-class space, and that means the best furniture, the best technology, and what that means is that that's attracting people back to the office. And what our app does is showcase all the great stuff happening, so like the events that are in the building, the offers for the gym, where the clients we work with are early adopters, they're forward-thinking, and they've got record lettings, and actually the rents are the best rents they've ever achieved. So there's a disparate sides of the market. There's the grade A that is doing fantastically well, letting, people are using it. The grade B stock less so. The challenge we all want to sort of think about is just the Fridays, whether we'll ever see a return to office on the Friday. Like, we switch spaces off, so on a Friday you can't book certain areas of a building, so we only have critical mass on certain areas, and we enable those spaces and disable the other spaces to save energy.
So who's driving how we change that user experience? Is it the employees? Is it the day-to-day users? Is it the next generation of younger employees? Is it the CEO? Is it the property developer? Or is it everyone needs to influence?
Yes, everyone needs to influence it, but I think the greatest influence is always the employee, because none of us will have businesses without employees. The future of our business is employees, and the younger generations are more demanding than previous, and they're more adept to using technology. So certainly we are focusing on that employee, but at the same time, if employees had their own way, they'd get paid for not going to work. So you've got to balance that with what the CEO wants, which is an office that gets utilised, an office that people want to go to. And so, everyone feeds into it, but I would say if you prioritise the employees at the top.
And what is an enticing working environment?
All those creature comforts, so warm lighting, warm furniture, snacks on demand, really good coffee, and the chance to meet other colleagues. I think the biggest thing we see is people who get upset that they come to the office and they don't get any engagement with anyone they want to engage with, and that means that they could have worked from home and been just as productive. And so a lot of the really popular functions on our platform are seeing where your colleagues are, what time they're going to be there, and allowing you to contact them through the app and go and meet.
And let's talk about the technologies and all of the different systems that are involved in making that building smart. Because it can be quite siloed.
Yeah.
And if it remains siloed, probably never going to be smart.
It is really siloed. So when we first started doing this, you know, you have your access control system, your CCTV, your BMS, your lighting control, you might have some facility systems, you've got your internal workplace systems, all completely disparate and disconnected. And we bring them all onto a common platform, and then we allow the employee to engage and access every single one of those facilities and make sure they get used efficiently, and also get the insights from them. I think, you know, everyone's focused on their customers, rightly so, and sometimes that means the partners don't really get the love they need. And I think the companies here that really succeed are the ones that have really strong partnership programs and realise that together we can provide something far more powerful than what we could do alone.
When we look at the type of buildings that you're involved with, I guess there's a lot of transient users, people in and out of the building, and you may have the best technology in the world in that building, but it needs to be understood how to use it straight away.
100%.
You can't have people in there training every new user into the building. Everybody needs to be able to adopt it as it just works.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think the main use case is QR codes. We've been doing QR codes for over 10 years. And in those early years, it's exactly that. The reception team had to teach every single person how to check in. And that's just a failure straight away. And I think the thing that really helped was airlines and train lines.
Yeah.
And once they adopted it, it's now become the de facto. Now, a lot of our clients keep going, well, like, you know, QR codes do have their limitations. They're not the most secure method of accessing a building, and you've got to think about that. But they do keep asking us about what's next, and we know what's next is NFC, but this user experience is commonly accepted. You don't get charged for printing a QR code, they're free. You can put it on paper, you can put it on a phone screen. It is, now it's the common adopted user experience. We should stick with it for a while, because you don't need to train people. Because as soon as we move to the next technology, which we will, which is NFC, and we are issuing NFC passes for clients that need higher security, there is a training element.
Well, when we talk about trends, certainly when we're talking about access, it's all moving towards a smartphone now, of course. That distribution of keys or cards or fobs or whatever it may be, that loss of physical pieces of plastic, of course they're always going to get forgotten, they're always going to get lost, but that one key that no one tends to lose is, of course, their smartphone. And you're right, it's working with NFC, it's working with Bluetooth as well.
You can't have two-way communication with a plastic card. As soon as you move your access to mobile access using a smartphone, you've got two-way communication, and that's so powerful. Like, the landlord used to really only have a relationship with the CEO, CFO, head of workplace, head of HR. They've now got a two-way connection to every single person that uses their building, and so they should invest in providing services through that channel to make their property more investable.
And I suspect that the best way to look at smart building and removing those silos is to have an understanding of the big picture first.
Yeah. It's all about what are you looking to achieve. Is it a greater return on investment of your property portfolio? Is it greater productivity from your workforce? Is it a happy, engaged workforce? How do you even find out if they're happy and engaged in the first place? People say does an app make a building smart? And like, no, not the app alone. It's how you bring everything together. But I definitely think the app is the most powerful part, because it's in the hands of the user, and it's how you understand how the user uses your building, and it's how you get feedback from the user on what they want and what's working and what's not.
And what do you think that the future of that office workspace is going to look like as we move forward? Is it still going to be city-centric, first of all? Are we moving out of town? Are we still going to be working in shared spaces, hot desking? What's it going to look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're going to see, especially build to rent, you're going to find that they're going to be mixed-use developments where offices will be into the build-to-rent developments, because people are fed up with being in a single space in their apartment all day, but they also don't want the commute, they want the expense of the commute. So if they can just go down a few floors and have a really fantastic workplace, so you're going to find the office moving into the home, I think you're going to find the home moving into the office. Some of our clients have hotels within their office development, and so all their international employees can just stay and work in the same place. So yeah, I think it's just fantastic for everyone really, because they're just going to be such better places to be.
And we started off talking about smart building. I think what we ended with is talking about smart use of building. And your phrase, mixed use of commercial buildings, is really, really important. If we try to silo the use of a building, just as offices, just as retail, just as residential is not going to be the future, it is that mix, enticing people to want to use that building in so many different ways, morning till night, I guess.
Yeah, no, totally. But when you've got mixed use, you need to manage it effectively. And I think the first thing, the thing we see fall over in many buildings is that people just don't know it exists. So before we had our own workplace app, no one knew that we had a whole basement level of bike parking spaces, really nice showers, lockers to put your kid in. And as soon as we deployed our app, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to cycle to work. Oh, I'm going to run to work. I'm going to use the showers. This amenity, people don't know about it unless you advertise it. And then you need to manage it effectively, because when it becomes really popular and everyone wants to use it, you need to make sure that actually people get access to it and it's not overbooked. And that's where our software helps facilitate the efficiency of those amenities.
Dan, thank you so much for all of your insights.
Brilliant.
Really great to catch up. Join us again soon at How to AV as we look at commercial buildings, the technology within, and how we make both the building more smart and the way that we use it even smarter. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Cheers.